Hey, when I think about everything that's going on in the world right now, if you've been watching the news, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The parable in Matthew chapter 25 just really came to my mind. In this case, the king was going on a long trip. He gave one 5 talents, one 2 talents, another 1 talent. And he said, do what you do. I'll be back after a long trip. He went on a long trip and he came back, and the one with 5 talents produced 5 more. The one with 2 talents produced 2 more. The one with the 1 just hit it. And what I thought was very interesting is Jesus didn't care about, or the king, I should say, didn't care about the number of talents, but it was more of what he did with the talents. And that's the thing that I want to challenge us with. When we're living in this culture, we're looking at these protests, we're looking at these riots, we see all of these things going on in our world, man. I'm sad about it personally. And the question that I want to ask you, what are you doing? Do your part. What is going to be your part on these pages in history? Like, what is going to be your part? Now, me personally, I wish I could go march and protest. But because I'm homeschooling right now with 2 little kids at home, I didn't think that'd be the right environment. That was my conviction. So I stayed home and I supported through prayer and through other means that I could. But I'm saying to each of you, including myself, what will be our line in this historic moment? So I'm challenging you to do what you can with what you have. Maybe you're not a protester, but what can you do to mentor someone else? What are you doing to have that conversation with your children about race, about what's going on in the news right now? How involved are you in the political process? Maybe you're not out there rioting and doing all marching and doing that, but what can you do at your church with voter registration? Can you make sure everybody at your church is registered to vote? There are things that you can do, and I really want you to think about what will be your line in the history book. What will be your line? What did you do? The one with 5 talents produced 5 more. The one with 2 produced 2 more. The one with the 1 dug it in the sand. And what I'm telling you is, don't put your head in the sand in this moment in history. Do not put your head in the sand in this moment in history and do nothing. That when your children, when your grandchildren ask you, what did you do? Your answer is, man, I just waited for them to be finished with all that craziness. Yes, I personally may not agree with the rioting, but I understand where the place where it comes from. And what I'm saying is, I'm assuming there are some people who are just doing their part. And what I'm saying is, I just wonder how great it would be if everybody would do their part. If it's mentoring, if it's being a prayer warrior for the people that are out there in the streets, if it's giving to a nonprofit organization, if it's signing people up, getting people registered to vote, if it's giving people rides, if it's providing meals in your community, if it's some kind of way you're looking out for those who are less fortunate than you, play your part in history. That's what I'm saying. What is going to be your line in history? Make sure there's something that you can give, that you can contribute, that you're doing in this moment. Don't be like the servant that just buried his talent in the sand. There's something for all of us to do. So I am challenging you to do something. I don't know what your something will be. Pray about it if you're not clear about it. But I'm sure that there is something you can do to help America be a better place. We are building the kingdom of God, but while we live here in America and all across the world, we should do all we can to make sure where we are, we provide for those who are less fortunate. We provide for those who don't have the bare necessities of life. What can you do? What will be your line in history? Think about that, then go do something.